And if Millenium can take this into this game now, all the good results in their scrims, they will actually, or could be, able to beat Copenhagen Wolves.
So we are going to be getting into game then here. Millenium versus the Copenhagen Wolves for Millenium. I want to say a must-win game at this point of things. As we've heard before, only 6 games for each team left to go. They have to start picking up points.
Every single game for Millenium now is going to be a must-win game if they want to go to the playoffs. They cannot go there by other teams losing. They need to just win some games here. And a thing we can notice, Youngbuck, he is obviously playing the Gragas, so he decided to take a top lane. He's starting with some good AP here, and also teleport. In 4.4, if you teleport to your own turret, it's going to have 100 seconds less cooldown. So we need to see if he decides to teleport to the turrets or how he decides to play early on.
And speaking of early on, we've had changes to those warding trinkets now coming into play after 2 minutes rather than the 1.5 minutes. How does that affect the start to the game?
Well, it simply means that if you want to invade, you're going to do it blind. And at the same time, if you're starting your own buff, you don't know if someone is coming because you don't have any vision. So it opens up for these very risky or very, dangerous invades. But it can either go really well for you. But look at Copenhagen Wolves here, waiting around. They're expecting Millenium to walk in. And again, there's no ward, no vision. The supports both started without wards, so Millenium will have to face check Copenhagen Wolves all the other way around.
Oh, the Wolves starting to move out here, and there's the damage coming down. Karma gonna put in a big blast. Amazing. Very, very low from this one. Will they chase him? There's a flash. Amazing. Flashes away, but the bomb bounces through. First blood coming in there for Millenium, and they might not be done just yet. Forgiven trying to escape. Jerry and Cottonex both moving in. They're gonna get first blood, and they're gonna take the red as well.
Absolutely perfect start here for Millenium. They were waiting for Copenhagen Wolves. They walked in there, amazing died, and also Millenium now, they wanted to make sure they got their dual lane against the Copenhagen Wolves one. They predicted the lane swap, so they have perfect lanes here. Karma Caitlyn against the Leona and Lucian, and down in the bottom lane, the teleport Gragas is gonna be against Shyvana, so we should see very good lanes here for Millenium.
Incredibly fun start, at least for Millenium and the fans here, because not the start that the Copenhagen Wolves were looking for. Kautar, though, going very aggressive here on towards Kerp in these early levels, but he's been knocked into tower range. Is he going to get away? Yes, he is. Good damage from Kerp coming back there, but close stuff. Kautar needs to be careful of that.
Yeah, just like we talked about here, Yasuo early game, he can dash towards you so often and get some good damage onto you. Also use the Ignite here, got the barrier from Kerp, but he needs to be careful now because Kerp, he can stay around his turret here and just poke away on Kautar. And also if the jungler should come in, it's very hard for Kautar to escape.
So this top lane then, the duos, as you rightly mentioned, being predicted properly, and 280 carries pretty level on farm right now. Here's the new man for Millenium, Cottonex, looking to get in on that mid lane, but he's going to be stood right on top of a ward. Kautar knows that's there, and knows that he's there, of course, because of that. Does have flash as well if he really needs to be safe.
Yeah, but Kautar really wants to make sure he doesn't have to use the flash here. But Cottonex actually coming around. Let's see Kautar. His ward is now gone, and obviously Cottonex already moved around, so he didn't have vision on him. Decides to play it safe. He want to keep the flash up because if the flash is gone, he can never move past the mid lane here in risk of getting ganked.
So this bottom lane, Youngblock, for the first time we see him here on that Gragas, and already doing a good job. Actually, he's a little bit behind LCS, did a lot of damage to Kevin on that last wave though, so we'll see how that one all develops.
And Kevin actually decided to ward all the way up here to see if Amazing walked in to do his golems. He didn't want to risk him staying at the golems and then walk down to dive him. Obviously the green ward wouldn't have spotted Amazing if he didn't start the golems, so he just wanted to see if someone was there and he could safely get all the farm here and not get dove on.
So this top lane then, once again, Jerry with good poke that comes out of Karma. If you can land it, of course. If you don't land it, then it's not going to do any damage for you. That one remaining pretty level at 23 to 26 CS. So you see the Zenith Blade coming out, just flying wide of Jerry.
But look what Jerry is doing. Instantly, as he saw the animation, he popped the shield onto himself, gets the extra mobility, and also, of course, the shield. So it's going to be very hard for Copenhagen Wolves to actually burst him down. And they're just poking away, making sure to keep them slightly away from the minions so Kraton can pick up all the CS.
And you have to wonder how Millenium are coming into this one. Be interesting to hear from them in the near future, because of the fact they've had this roster change. It obviously affects different teams in different ways, can give you a whole new lease of life and hunger to win games.
It's like Super Hot Crew.
Yeah, it can also put you behind though in terms of your practice that you've got together and the synergy levels that you've got. But it is worth mentioning that some teams, when they've had this replacement, will bring someone completely new in. Cottonex is not a complete stranger to these guys. However, we do have Amazing coming up top.
And oh, Unlimited going.
Going in now towards J-Re. Unlimited is quite low, but they managed to burst down J-Re. Kritzen has to net away, and that is a kill back for the Copenhagen Wolves. Amazing, just sauntering on in, and that's always the danger with Evelyn. Doesn't matter if you've got the ward there, you're going to see her when she actually starts doing the damage.
Exactly, and that's the annoying part again when you're playing against Evelyn, because you need deep wards in the enemy jungle, or you need pink wards, or you have absolutely no idea where she is. And we actually saw Unlimited, he just flashed on, straight on to Karma here, took no chance of her dodging his E, so he made sure he could lock her down and get the very easy kill.
So this mid lane, Curve, doing good amounts of damage and also having a solid CS lead at this point. 43 to 31 CS, all because of the fact, of course, that Coutard has to get into melee range on those minions, and that's just free harassment from Kerp. Do see Amazing coming over towards this mid lane though, so we'll see if he can give Coutard any backup. In the end though, that wave is pushed completely up and it doesn't look like he'll be able to have the impact. However, down by the blue buff, Cottonex has just been into the enemy jungle. He's already backing off though.
Yeah, he's slightly behind in CS here, but it shouldn't matter too much at this point. He wanted to try and set something up with Youngbuck, but decides wisely enough to back off. And Amazing now, coming down there to this bot lane. Youngbuck is level 6 and Kevin is not, so he can actually knock him into the face of Amazing.
Let's see if they can pull this one off. Youngbuck making sure that he doesn't scare Kevin away by going too aggressive onto this minion wave. In the end though, they realize there's probably nothing for the taking.
Yeah, I actually think Amazing was there more for counter gank, because they had Cottonex being nearby beforehand, so they didn't know if he was waiting in the bush up in the try here to come in when Youngbuck pushed up the lane. That's why he was waiting around. Look at the early magic resist onto Kevin. So with Evelyn and with Gragas, it's going to be hard to take him down.
And he's slightly ahead in farm in that bottom lane as well, in the solo lane after the switch. Obviously top lane still remains even on CS. Both AD carries do have a assist, obviously one from earlier on and one from that kill just earlier on onto J-Re. And as they start to come back in lane, we'll see if any more happens up on that top side of the map. Both AD carries are coming back in with a BF sword.
The difference here is actually for the supports, where we have the Sidestone already onto Unlimited because he picked up the first blood. So he also switched his trinket now to the sweeping lens, and also having a pink ward, so he can deny a lot of vision from Millenium, and also he's going to provide, of course, some good vision for himself and for Given here. So very good start for him, and I actually like when the support gets the first or get the early kill, so he can get some good vision early.
And interestingly enough, these two teams have some of the longer games as well. They've, you know, maybe not, you can say struggled, or maybe you can on Millennium side, to finish out games that they've actually managed to win, that they were ahead in. The Wolves, generally, even when they're ahead, play things very, very safe and by the book. And we've got an extended laning phase coming out of this one. Both teams matching up duo versus duo, the solo lanes on their own as well. The jungles have come in a couple of times. We're going to see the blue buffs being passed over here for the first time as well. But very, very passive start, I think we can say. Aside from level 1, of course, which was just a big mess.
But the level 1 is what we're going to get now in the 4.4, when trinkets, of course, are at the 2-minute mark, because people will invade in blind. And it can actually change the games a lot. Personally, getting the trinket ward down to 1 minute could then fix everything, because you can put the ward, you can actually get some vision, we can see some tactical play here. But with the 2 minutes, we're going to see these level 1 invades more often. And for both teams here, of course, the fact that Millennium picked up the first spot, and then Copenhagen Wolves now just trying to farm up despite actually doing really well in the lanes. It's going to be this passive early game, and in the mid game we need to see then the decision making. We need to see the new shot calling from Millennium, of course, come in action, because as you said yourself, Copenhagen Wolves in the past normally play very safe when it comes to the mid game, and that's actually one of the issues for them, because they give the other team the chance to farm up and make a comeback.
Also, being one of their strong points as well, we have to say, on the other hand,
yeah,
the fact that they are so stable when it comes to that mid-game. Sometimes it only takes one mistake, though, and all that stability that you've had for sometimes 20 minutes, half an hour even with the Wolves, then it can go all down the pan very quickly. This bottom lane, Youngbuck is still level with Kevin, doing, as he has been throughout this one, good damage, but now we see the junglers starting to head down to that lane.
Yeah, because Kevin is on 50%, and it's a big wave from Youngbuck now, going into Curve.
Yeah, but the damage not really there for him at this point. There is the bomb coming out, Coutard losing half of his HP. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, we did see Amazing coming in. Cottonex was there as well, and not really too much damage going to be traded by those two. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we can see a weight off here, and there is a solar flare. They're going to go for J-Re once again. He loses half of his health. Now they focus towards Kritzen, but can they turn this one around? They're going to stun Unlimited up. Have they got the damage to finish it off? It doesn't look like it.
So flash used here by Jerry, make sure he can survive this burst coming from Copenhagen Wolves. Down in the bottom lane, we saw both junglers having the same idea because there was a big wave from Coulthard pushing on to the turret and Kevin was 50%. So amazing, he wanted to go down to either protect Youngbuck from Cotton-X or actually even just dive onto Kevin here. And of course Cotton-X, he had the same idea, the jungler's gonna be there, I need to be there.
Tense game. We've gone past the 10-minute mark now, just a killer piece, and we can see the gold hanging just a little bit in favor of the Copenhagen Wolves. I have to give credit to Coulthard. We said that he loves to play those safer, farm-heavy champions. That's not really what he's done this time around, going for a bit more of a risky lane matchup against Kerp's more safe farming champion.
Yeah, he's been actually doing a very good job. Only being the 10 CS behind is not too big of a deal for him, so as long as he can continue farming and not fall further behind the Kerp, he's gonna be happy, gonna get the static shift, get the Infinity Edge, the two key items for him on Yasuo, so he can really start doing some damage. And now, amazing, onto this top lane again. Jerry can actually face check him.
Jerry puts the ward down, but he's going to get jumped on here by Amazing. He speeds himself up, but the ulti comes down. Amazing's going to get locked up, but the Zenith Blade lands, and there is the kill for Forgiven.
Yeah, so no flash on Jerry, was popped before by Unlimited, and also a pink ward from Copenhagen Wolves in this bush, so they knew there was no vision, and as soon as Amazing moved in there, same did Jerry, and with no flash he was just dead. But this means for Millenium's side, with the jungler being up top lane, with the dual lane being top lane, they can take the dragon.
We had questions about how their shot calling was going to be, that we know RNA are very vocal, or was a very vocal man in the team. That was a spot-on call though, knowing that the jungle's on the top side, go straight for dragon.
A very good call, and making sure actually that Copenhagen Wolves lose out on the trade, unless they can get something going here. Amazing, he's staying around the spot lane, and look at Coulthard as well, moving up, but he was spotted.
Yeah, was spotted coming in. The ultimate was used from Kevin, but the flash came around as Amazing. Going to come to the back here towards Jerry. Actually, we have Kerp starting to move his way up as well. Coulthard is there, but in the end, not able to put down as much damage as they may have hoped for. There's a bouncing bomb which catches the back end of Forgiven. Going to get a slow across him. Failed flash from Forgiven. Ace in the hole comes through. Blocked by Amazing. Have they got any more to throw at this one? No, I don't think so. The Wolves back away. Three of them in fact, all of them very low.
Yeah, the fact they could actually spot Coulthard moving through the pink ward here in the river from Millenium's side meant they knew something was gonna happen. We had Kerp throwing his ultimate to clear the wave, and also both Jerry and Kreason playing very passive because they knew someone was nearby here. So they actually turned around, and now Kerp getting some good CS here and can push the wave into the turret.
Kerp has 20 CS up over Coulthard in that middle lane. The bot lane has switched in favor of Youngbuck. His barrel's starting to do a lot more damage now and can bully Kevin away from things. Kevin is coming back into this lane with that Spirit Visage back in there, so he should be feeling a little bit more comfortable at what Youngbuck can throw at him.
Yeah, but as long as Youngbuck can stay 1v1 against Shyvana, he's gonna constantly push her into the turret. He will be able to get it at some point, as long as the junglers do not interfere or the dual lanes switch around. So for Copenhagen Wolves, they're fine now with keeping these lanes. Also due to the pressure from Amazing and Unlimited up here in the top lane, they're actually doing really well in this 2v2.
2v2, 1-2-3 versus 130 CS. Forgiven somehow, even if the Copenhagen Wolves fall behind in lane phase, still somehow manages to put up those record-breaking sometimes CS numbers, as we are going to see them diving on towards Kreason. Is he going to be able to get away? Barrier was used. Unlimited locked up, but they've definitely not got the damage to push back on this. Cotton-X did come up through the Millenium jungle, but wasn't able to be in position to have an impact there. And
again, this is why I love to see Unlimited play Leona, because whenever they have a chance, he's going to engage. That's why Copenhagen Wolves use so much focus on getting a bot lane ahead, because they know they can take this advantage and just continue to push it, and maybe even get a kill onto Millenium, or at least the turret.
A lot of turret damage coming in there. Half of the turret's HP has been stripped off. Cotton-X was just waiting around inside of that area. We're going to see Coulthard going in on towards Kerp. That's a lot of damage. The bomb comes back. Now it's Coulthard going low. There's the barrier used. A good wind wall. Amazing was in position for any follow-up. No kill.
And the wind wall actually saved the life of Coulthard here. The bomb would have hit him and would have killed him. So very good use of the wind wall, making sure Kerp couldn't trade back.
Jerry actually going aggressive here. They've got Cotton-X moving up through the river, but will they get in position? I don't think so. The slow not landing, but here's Amazing. Dives in on towards Kerp. Kerp being a little bit too cocky there, maybe not knowing Amazing's position, and he comes in, simply catches him off guard. 3-1 to the Wolves.
Yeah, Amazing was just waiting around here, and as soon as Curb just moved out to throw his bouncing bomb to the minions, instantly went in, flashed and killed him, so very good play by Amazing. And this ward actually from Millenium, they actually saw him coming towards the mid lane because this ward has been there for a long time already, but he just stayed around and Curb didn't expect it.
And now he's going straight towards that top lane. That turret definitely not healthy anymore. And his solar flare is off cooldown, and Unlimited has been landing those nicely, but there is a pink ward in this tri-bush. Will that stop them moving in? They've got minions moving in. They might not even care that that pink ward's there. There is a solar flare coming down. Jerry going to be focused here by Amazing. The culling comes through. That's 2 kills. 1 for Amazing, 1 for Forgiven. Tower's going to go down as well.
Absolutely perfect timing from Copenhagen. As soon as the minion wave got into the turret, Amazing was there. The pink ward didn't even matter because they were in a position to just straight up engage. And now Curb, he wants to get something.
Oh, they manage it though. There's the bouncing bomb. Doesn't
no
land.
Flash,
Amazing
no flash.
Gonna be stuck here though. There's another bounce coming in. Curb gets it with lands that one. Takes the double buffs as well. Nice kill back from Millenium.
Yeah, and 2 kills on the Curb now. Double buff. He's having some very good farm. Once again, he's the guy Millenium needs to carry. They need him to carry them. Every single time he's playing Ziggs, he's doing so well. He's always getting farm, always getting kills. And let's see what he can actually do once the team fight starts.
Oh, they're going in on towards Countout. He does put the wind wall up, just dashes out there towards the minions, but he's not going to get away. Cottonex is able to wrap that one up.
So again, very nice kill from Millenium. They're doing everything they can to make sure they can punish Copenhagen Wolves if they stay too far up in the lane, so if they play too aggressive. So very nice job. And now Youngbuck onto Kevin.
Oh, it's in the barrel there though, and Kevin's like, well, I'm still kind of tanky at this point with that Spirit Visage in there. Youngbuck just going to drink up and probably take himself another wave.
And this can actually be a big issue for Copenhagen Wolves later in the game because Shyvana is going to be so tanky that Youngbuck can do nothing to her, and she will actually be able to force him out of the lane. Yes, he can wave clear, but he won't be able to duel her 1v1. And that's where Millenium with Ziggs, Caitlyn, and of course Karma can do a 1-4, where you have 4 members in the mid lane and just Shyvana split pushing in one of the side lanes.
So Dragon, number 1 of this game, went over to Millenium after they saw Amazing in the top lane there and knew that they could take that one without any jungle pressure. This time around it comes up in 20 seconds. There's already pink ones in, and there goes the solar flare. A little bit far out. Amazing had flanked around the side, and actually that cost Unlimited quite a lot of health.
And Copenhagen Wolves, they could actually have gone for this one, but they didn't have vision, and now Cottonex onto Youngbuck here in the bottom lane, but he's all alone.
Have the damage here to take down Youngbuck. He's going to have to go very deep if he wants to.
Missed.
There is the missed barrel, but the rest of the Wolves starting to close around. They think they don't have the damage, and they'd probably be right from it as well. They back off towards their own turret. Youngbuck's going to have to recall, and it looks like Millenium may have got themselves positioned on the Dragon.
And it's so hard to kill Kha'Zix when he's popping the ultimate with the involved now, and they're going again.
On towards Forgiven. There is the ace in the hole, going to come flying through. It hits Unlimited despite his flash. Cottonex picks up that one. That leaves them at a 3 versus 4, or really, sorry, a 5 versus 4, but really a 5 versus 3 because Youngbuck's nowhere to be seen after being forced back.
And I like this Cottonex guy. He's really setting up things. First, he 1v1s Youngbuck down in the bottom lane, and he just want to force him away, want to make sure he couldn't recall before the Dragon because he was low on mana. And then once the fight actually starts here, he's the one jumping in. He's the one setting it up. So very confident play by Cottonex, and very nice to see some early aggression.
Let's have a look down some of the items now that we're approaching that 20-minute mark. We see the Athene's Unholy Grail done for Curb on Ziggs. Also for Gragas there on Youngbuck. We just got a brief split second of him. Also got a needlessly large rod in there as he may end up getting himself caught out. He has to flash away there knowing he's going to get stunned up, a little bit out of position.
And again, Copenhagen Wolves here, they're afraid to do anything, and that's also why he's flashing away, because they don't have enough vision. They don't know where the rest of Millenium's members are. So Youngbuck, he simply felt that if I get snared here, I will die. There's going to be multiple members jumping me, so I just have to flash, even though it was actually only Jerry.
Did survive, but they've lost their turret for that one. Oh, they've picked up a turret for that one as well, knowing that the support was on that top side of the map. So that leaves us 2-0 in towers in favour of the Copenhagen Wolves. But if we look at the gold, it's pretty much bang even once again. Cottonex just coming around to see that actually he's gone as the ultimate. He's going to come off here from Countdown. Amazing was caught sleeping there. He didn't really react to that one.
Amazing, he was waiting for something to happen from Millenium side. I actually think he wanted Cottonex to not jump away, but try and fight against Countdown, because it would be 1 versus 1, and then he would join in, because he knew as soon as the jump was there for Cottonex, he wouldn't be able to catch him.
More pressure on the bottom lane here, possibly. jungler along with the duo lane there, but actually they just steal those golems and they're gonna back away. Meanwhile, Kevin, now that he's a little bit more tanky, feeling like he can go in between the inner and outer turrets on this top lane, gets himself a warding position. Actually, Kautar did start to come up on towards his top side, but actually won't bother with that one, wants to stick around and get the farm in middle. Kevin clearing out a pink ward as well. Not a bad little trip for Kevin overall.
And Millenium should be happy just trying to extend the game and getting all the farm, because again, with Caitlyn and Ziggs late game, and of course Kha'Zix who scales so well, you have a very, very strong late game set up. A lot of wave clear, a lot of siege potential of course, and then you have the front line with both Shyvana and Kha'Zix scaling well into late game. You have the ultimate from Kha'Zix making him very hard to kill. So Millenium's setup here, coming into late game team fight, is very, very good. If they can keep extending the game, they should be in an advantage.
There onto Kautar from Kurt, planning a good combo onto him as the duo lanes are once again going to be facing off on the bottom side of the map. Cottonex is in fact there, was just spotted out, so he will start to back away from things. The Wolves know that Millenium have no turret behind them there, and as such Cottonex having to come across, and that's another good deep ward there from the Wolves that will spot out all three of them. Yeah,
if you look at the minimap at the moment, 5 minutes ago, they didn't have any deep wards. They had no idea where Millenium were. They played very careful. Now, they have some very good deep wards here and actually avoiding all the pink wards from Millenium side, so they know where people are. Cottonex, he wanted to go on amazing.
Use his ultimate to try and stealth in for that one.
Little bit too aggressive.
Might work out for him, yeah. I mean, Evelyn's pretty quick anyway.
Yep.
With those boots in there and able to pop the W, but the Wolves once again just turn around, go back towards this bottom lane. They know that the jungler's now backed away from that. They can put the pressure on, but Cottonex has come towards mid. Kautar with a very early flash there, didn't want any of that.
Not taking any chances here, didn't want to get slowed, and then all the damage from Curb, of course, the satchel could knock him back towards them, so just flashing away instantly as he saw the jump from Cottonex.
So will we go back to a more slower pace here and wait for the next dragon to be coming up into play? Millenium stay in this bottom side of the map with Creatine and JRE just happy to get the farm. If we look at the farm, Forgiven is ahead of this one. It's only 15 CS or so at this stage. If you look at the overall goal, it's 1,000 extra for Forgiven in that matchup.
Yeah, so some objective goals, of course. We have 2 turrets onto Copenhagen Wolves side, putting him ahead here, and also of course the 2 kills, 2 0 kills from Caitlyn. So if you look in general here at the way Copenhagen Wolves want to play the map, you see Youngberg up in top lane, he's just holding. He just want to get farm, want to make sure Kevin cannot take the turret. Down in the bottom lane, that's why they push off. That's why you also see Amazing staying around this mid lane and bot lane area. If something should happen, he can join in. And also with the deep wards they had before, they had some good vision. They could always see Cottonex move around.
Top lane not exactly killable. Shyvana now moving up with a giant spell on top of Spirit Visage from earlier on. Cottonex also sticking around this bottom side of the map. Knows what Amazing's plan is. Not going to let his team get outnumbered there. Specifically on this bottom side where Forgiven has gone constantly and pushed this wave after wave towards the turret.
Yeah, we need to see if Copenhagen Wolves want to keep doing it, because Dragon is up in 1 minute. If Millenium can get a gank onto them, and Cottonex stealthing in here, can he get to Forgiven?
Ace in the hole goes through from this one. Takes him down to about 2/3 of his HP, and here comes Kerp as well. The damage, flashed away from, and he's turning around. The colleague comes out from Forgiven. Amazing play from Forgiven. And now Kerp got to be caught in this one. Good minefield to stop them chasing through on that one. JRE was there as well to offer up the shield, but will they try and close in? Gragas is coming through the tri-bush, but I think that's all she wrote for the Wolves.
And Millenium here playing a little bit too aggressive. Cottonex used all 3 charges of his ultimate, just getting towards Forgiven. And they knew there's been no action for the last few minutes, so both summoners would be ready on Lucian. That's why he could barrier, of course, to the ultimate from Curb, and then flash out of the Curb ultimate and just turn it around. So Millenium want to try something, but it's just a little bit too aggressive here and was too easy for Forgiven to just counter.
There is the turret taken by the Copenhagen Wolves. All 3 outer turrets are now down. We'll see how they move in next. Dragon, of course, is live, and they are going to be moving into this one. Nothing that Millenium can do about this one if you look at the minimap, nowhere there. And actually, that will be the first Dragon of the game for the Copenhagen Wolves. And you have to feel from Millenium's side, if they'd have not taken those last 2 Dragons, they'd be so far behind by now. Yeah,
credit to them for getting the first 2 Dragons. That's very good play and very good shot calling for them, because once Amazing showed up top lane, they took the first one, and after, of course, the fight, they took the second one. So Millenium have been doing a good job when it comes to Dragons. And I actually think Cottonex went aggressive onto Forgiven here because the Dragon was about to spawn. He wanted to get him low, forced him to recall, and they could then go and take the dragon. Instead though, Forgiven just turned it around, flashed the ultimate from Curb, and very nice play by him, but also a little bit too aggressive by the new guy.
3-0-2 now for Forgiven. He's got his Trinity Force on top of the Bloodthirster and the workings of that last Whisper as well. And if you look at the clock, 25 minutes in, he's got 255 CS. Doesn't seem to skip a beat when it comes to that front of things. And we'll see if he can carry his team through to victory. Generally, when the Copenhagen Wolves do win games, Forgiven has always got an impressive score. Always.
Like, Forgiven, he's the late game carrier of Copenhagen Wolves. It's not Kautot, it's not Youngbok, it's not Amazing. Late game, it's all about Forgiven. They run these combos as well, where they make sure they can shield him, they have me kills for him, everything to make sure he doesn't die, and then he builds the 6 damage item build, and he just goes completely ham when it comes to the last team fights.
Pushing and pulling in that mid lane with those minion waves as Kevin is going to look to try and get in on top of the red buff, but he was stood on top of a ward. Amazing had his smite available, not really a problem there. The Wolves just stripping out their entire jungle, getting as much money as they possibly can from that one. Let's have a look down some of the items once again. Shyvana now with that Sunfire cape, and Kevin just going to be feeling more and more comfortable. If you look at Amazing, he's actually picked himself up a Sunfire cape as well. Youngbok might be caught out of position here now. He's got the body slam to get him off to safety.
Yeah, so Amazing, he wants to be in the face of Kraton with the Sunfire. Now going on to Kevin here.
Yeah, but you don't do any damage to Kevin. I don't think Kautot even will be able to get through Kevin's defenses at this stage of things. Look for that knockup, but didn't quite have the range on it. However, if they get Amazing in there as well, they possibly do have enough damage to work themselves through that one. You've always got to be wary though of Curb just stepping off from that mid lane and throwing his ultimate into the mix as well.
But look here what Copenhagen Wolves are doing. They put Yasuo in one lane, they have obviously Youngbok in the other lane just to hold it, not to push it, and then Kautot here, as soon as he pushed up, Amazing moved from the mid lane to back him up if something should happen here. They want to force these 1v1s or 2v2s and then try and win them. And meanwhile, obviously the dual lane just standing in mid lane, just wave clearing. So we have Copenhagen Wolves doing a 1-3-1, and we have Millenium with the setup to do a 1-4. Let's see actually if one of the teams can punish the other team if they try and go for the split push and then turn around.
The other thing we have to consider, 30 minutes into this game, will we start seeing the teams posturing around that Baron area? We've seen time and time again the Wolves. Now, you can't even call it a dance, it's more of some kind of marathon that they dance, that they do around there. They'll hang around it for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. They'll camp around the Baron constantly until you make the mistake. Funnily enough, that's how they beat Millenium last time, as we are going to see Talisman pop. They're going for Kurt, but he gets away from the Solar Flare. Jerry getting hammered here, though, by the Culling Cotonex, just blocking out the last couple of hits from that one. And actually, that will save Jerry's life.
And 3 ultimates were used from Copenhagen Wolves. On Millenium side, they still have everything ready. If a fight should break out now, Millenium will be able to control it.
And they take this turret. Kurt hanging off to the side. Youngbok got that poke with the barrels to maybe force them away. You can see that Cotonex just hanging off towards the side of things as well. That's something that we've seen these Kazakhs doing. They like to come in from the side, from the back sometimes as well, and just be a general nuisance when it comes to these team fights. Actually, Youngbok going to get warded on top of there. That will give Cotonex's position away, or someone's position away. In fact, Cotonex going to jump on through. He wants to get rid of that pink ward. Doesn't even take damage from Youngbok in the process.
But we need to see how Cotonex want to play the team fights here. He's picked up the Giants build, so he's having some tankiness now. And if he jumps into the backline of Copenhagen Wolves, we can see him kite around with his ultimate. But we have seen him earlier in this game popping the ultimates actually to engage. And if he does that, he will be squishy once the 3 charges are gone, and he will be a focus for Copenhagen Wolves. So let's see how he actually decides to play them.
Have to hit the items here again, because we see the Infinity Edge done now for Yasuo. We just saw the last Whisper being picked up for Forgiven as well. That's 2 items that's going to allow them to fight a lot better against this Millenium setup. Yeah,
big power spike items for both of them. Of course, with Infinity Edge now onto Yasuo, you're going to crit every time you get onto someone, and it's so much burst, that was just so much damage in general you can put onto targets if you actually get to them. That's where, of course, they need to time the ultimate for Youngbok or the knockup from Kautot himself.
More farm for Forgiven. 320 after less than 30 minutes. As Kautot here going to get chased down by Kevin. Going to stick to him here, but how much damage can he do? It's a lot of damage coming through. There's the Culling ace in the hole. Will go and be blocked out there actually in the end by that wind wall.
It's a very good wind wall again. But Kautot, he's often the focus from Millenium. When they go for a target to poke them down, they find Kautot here. making it hard for him to engage. The bomb back in, now they engage from Unlimited.
Solar Flare went down only onto Kevin though. We saw the Talisman being popped. Are they going to come in? There's a great barrel from Youngbuck, completely splitting everyone up. And Countdown's running amok. Double kill for him already. Continex will try and jump away. It was a triple actually in the end there for Countdown. He did go down, but he's shut down by Kevin. But now Amazing, he's chasing on towards Kerb. He's got vision of him. There's the speed up, but actually he's decided to leave him. They might as well go pushing these turrets now.
An absolutely perfect team fight for Copenhagen Wolves. As soon as the bomb from Kerb was used onto them, they just engaged. Look at this here. The bomb from Kerb is used, only hitting one member, and then instantly engage from Unlimited. They go in and out here. Amazing coming in, taking some damage, and then Youngbuck from the backside. 4-man ultimate. Yasuo jumps onto it, picks up 3 kills for himself, and Kerb, he's on the wrong side of the wall here, so he's not able to join in again.
And tried to track him down, but actually in the end the Copenhagen Wolves were able to take the Dragon from that and the middle inner turret as well. So 2 big objectives picked up from them there. That's 4-1 now in turrets and a good healthy gold lead.
Very good goal lead for them, and this is the time for him now to keep up the pressure. We see some armor now onto Yasuo, so he's gonna go in for the Guardian Angel to make sure once he's jumping into the face of Millenium, even if he should get bursted down, like in the last team fight, he will still be able to join in afterwards. So I like this pickup for him, and also I like the fact he actually doesn't want to go Last Whisper early on, because he's already getting armor penetration from his ultimate, so he doesn't think he needs the Last Whisper yet.
Kevin got himself the Cutlass now and a Giant Spell added in as well. We did see how much damage he can do chasing down a couple of members just a little bit earlier on, and now again he hangs around by that red buff, keeping the vision up. Will spot Amazing, and Millenium are making a move for their second turret of the game. You're not going to stop that one from going down. The Culling coming in a little bit too late. He'll get the minions, but won't keep the turret up.
Very good pushing power here from Millenium with, of course, Caitlyn and Ziggs and Karma, just making sure constantly pushing the wave up, and as soon as Copenhagen Wolves were out of position, they could take the turret, and everything counts at this point because there's 6,000 gold behind. Every time they can get a turret for free, it's gonna help them get back in this game, because again, the late game combo from Millenium is very, very strong, so as long as they don't fall further behind, they're still in this game.
42 minutes into this one. Kevin once again going to be chasing off towards Amazing, who himself is decently tanky. We continue working himself up towards that random. He's got a Sunfire Hex Drinker in there already. There's a pink ward for J-Ree, and Amazing's actually going to come through, stops him taking the pink ward, at least for now, and clears out the ward of his own.
Yeah, so again, as you just talked about with the tank items onto Evelynn here, very tanky already, and with the shield also from his ultimate, whenever Amazing goes into the face of Millenium, he's not gonna die. He's gonna be able to jump back out, and that's where the rest of Copenhagen Wolves can join in as soon as Amazing is having all the focus onto him.
Well, we're going to see that Baron dance started off here by the Copenhagen Wolves. They've got full vision control of that area. A couple of pink wards being used to solidify the views that they've got of that one. Amazing, just throwing a cheeky hate spike off towards Continex. But Millenium, they're not messing around, making sure that this mid lane keeps on push through. They've got actually to deal sometime soon with Countdown. As Youngbuck going to get knocked against the wall. They're going to dive in. There is the ace in the hole. It goes on towards Unlimited. There was Kerb's ultimate as well. But look at Amazing coming from behind. He's spotted by the pink ward. The Culling stops them pushing too much onto the turret. But look at Countdown in the bottom left there. He's going to take down that inner top turret.
Yeah. Okay, Youngbuck was actually caught out here, but it's still fine for Copenhagen Wolves. It's too easy for them to defend when all 5 members from Millenium are just pushing up the mid lane. The whole minion wave was gone, they couldn't hit the turret, and now Countdown in the bottom lane onto the next one. So too easy for Copenhagen Wolves because Millenium just grew up as 5.
He's going down towards Baron. Youngbuck and Unlimited are fairly low, but they're going to start this one off. Will Millenium be able to come back through? We do have Countdown, who's the last man to join this party with that Guardian Angel only. Going to keep it going. He's going down very, very low. And there is the pickup for the Wolves. They managed to get him up towards Kevin, but he's not really the target they're looking for. They have lost Unlimited. But look at Forgiven hammering his way through there. Managed to get one out of the fight. He'll finish off the second one. And now the Culling coming in on towards Kevin as well. Amazing having to run ace in the hole. He gets out of vision of that one. In fact, no, he didn't. It's because Caitlyn died. The triple kill comes in the end there for Countdown. A double kill for Forgiven as well. The Copenhagen Wolves can push everything down here.
Yeah, so Baron for Copenhagen Wolves. They had 2 members dying early in the fight, but Forgiven, Countdown and Amazing are all so strong. They just stayed in there. We saw actually Forgiven dashing down 1v2 against both Predator and J-Ree. forcing Crescent to back out of the fight here, and then you could join in with the rest of the team and finish up all of Millenium. And they might actually try and finish this game.
It looks like they're going to here. Let's have a look at the countdowns. J-Ree's up in 5 seconds, but everyone else at least 10 seconds later. This is going to be the game for the Copenhagen Wolves. A valiant start for Millenium, but the Wolves proving too strong once again.
So 2 very good team fights for Copenhagen Wolves. The game was very even, then we had the mid-fight. Copenhagen Wolves won it, pulled ahead, and then now they start the Baron. Instantly after they force Millenium to back off, take it, and turn around the next fight and win it. It's a very smooth play by Copenhagen Wolves.